screen viewable for everyone?
Yes, Hugo, we can see the screen.
Okay, thank you, Regina. So first and foremost, thank you to Regina for the invitation. I've only known about this about like 2 days ago. But then again, it's always special to talk about leadership. Again, I did not choose the topic, but this is the topic that was being offered. So I've did some Facebook search on liberal arts academic organization. I think you guys have a great logo, great copywriting as well on your vision and mission. And I'm also aware that today we are talking to the Department of Student Formation. We are talking about student formators, trainers, future trainers to the next batch of student leaders. And the topic that we have for today is transformational leadership, the leader in you. Okay. And here's the thing, right? A bit of background about myself. I'm sure Jason have done a great job introducing it, like Lightspeed. So I'm actually a trainer from Malaysia, all the way from Malaysia. And my background, I'm actually major in accounting and finance back in my university age, right? But what happens is that I never end up becoming an accountant or a banker or any sorts of that. You see, if there is one question that I'm always struck by, right, is back when I was really young, let's say when I was, say, 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm not sure if that happens to you as well, which is the crazy thing of when we look around our friends circle, right? Do you not realize that if we have a group of friends sitting together, naturally someone would stood out and became the leader, even if there is no title accorded to that person? Have you ever seen that? And if there is a class election on choosing who is the class monitor or the class prefect, usually there is one or two names that is on everyone's mind. So this question bugs me for a very long time, right? The question of, what is it that makes someone a leader? At the beginning, I thought that maybe the person who is a leader is someone who is very outspoken, who is very good in socializing and making friends. Maybe that is what makes a leader. Now, another crazy thought, right? Back then, my social skills like totally sucked, like I don't really know how to communicate to people. I'm a very quiet person. Doing public speaking like this, even speaking to Zoom, to a camera like you, it's not possible for me back then. And I thought that if I just get better with making friends and socializing, that would make me a better leader, a better speaker. Now, this is the question for you, right? Have you ever seen someone who is very good at making friends, but still is a terrible leader? Have you seen such a person? Definitely. Now, another question is, what if a leader is someone that can produce results? If in the football field, he's the person that can score the goal, for example, or can keep the ball from going into the goal. Or if he's a student, it's the student that can score the straight A's, the 4.0 CGPA. Now, another crazy question to consider. Have you ever seen people who are very good at producing results, but they are not good leaders? Have you seen that as well? Again, definitely. So if a leader is not someone who is good at making friends, and is also not someone who is just good at producing results, then what is a leader? So before we begin our session for today, whenever you feel like you learned something from this presentation, feel free to give a thumbs up so that I know you are here, or to comment and what you've learned, right? Just put a very you can follow that and you can build on the points. When we decided to do presentation, usually I'm presenting to people that are much older. They will find me for things like how can I do public speaking better? How can I build my team better? How can I build better relationships, usually with customers, because I deal with businesses, right? So all these people, especially during this pandemic, their sales plummeted. Their team are not motivated. Some of them are wondering whether they should stay in the company. And that's where they hire me to come in, to solve a very crucial problem in all organizations, which is the people problem. And at the top of the people problem is leadership problem. And that's why when Regina told me, on this topic, transformational leadership, the leader in you, I feel like it's a great topic to talk about, and that's why I'm here. So for those that just came in, right, okay, there you go. For those that just came in, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is it that makes a great leader? Is it someone who has a lot of friends? Still, they can be not good leader. Someone who can produce results and still they cannot be a good leader. How about someone who is very ethical? They are very moral. They know what is right, what is wrong. Does that make them a good leader? Now, here's another thought. What if a person can be a good person and still not be a good leader? So this comes later, right? When I reached my secondary school, and then it just hit me that all the things that I thought can make a good leader doesn't really even make a good leader. So for you who is watching this, who is going to train the next batch of youth leaders, you need to first identify what is it that makes a leader. You know what I really realized later on, this is like back when I started working, like say over 10 years ago when I started working during my college time. And then I realized that maybe there is no one secret on how to become a good leader. Maybe being a good leader is not about one criteria or one quality. Maybe it is about multiple qualities. Just think about this, right? Who are the people that you are following on social media? And in your group of friends, in your college, in your university, who are the people that you are attracted to, that you want to follow, you want to listen, that when you want to decide things like, where should we eat today? Someone would give the answer. Who are these people? And then we realize these are the people that not just influence, meaning people are willing to listen to them, but they also have the ability to navigate, meaning they bring you from point A to point B. These are also the people that will take responsibilities, that are usually very hungry, they're willing to sacrifice for the team, for the vision. And usually are the people with at least admirable attitudes. So we realize that leaders are people with multiple qualities. Now, have you ever heard of this quote, right? Which is, everything rise and fall on leadership. Have you ever seen your friends or yourself join a club and then leave the club? The same thing right now in the working world, there are people that leave companies and teams. And that's the big problem, right? Like, why are people leaving? Now, here's the realization, like people don't really leave clubs, people don't really leave companies, people don't leave organizations. You know what people leave? The reason why they leave? People leave because of other people. So if you are going to be a leader today, as you can see on the screen, it's a jar, right? a cover with a lid that is closing on top. The kind of talents that you can contain within this jar depends on the lid. If your lid is low, the kind of people you attract are of minimum commitment, minimum quality. The higher the lead, the higher the level of your leaderships, the better the kind of people that you can attract and the more people that you can retain. So with this realization, we go to this quote by Simon Sinek, right? Leadership is not about being in charge. Now, if there's one thing that we need to really understand is, we always thought that leader is someone with a position, someone who is in charge. But what if leadership is not about being in charge? Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. This is the difference between the old school of leadership and the new school. Because if you look at those young people, right, look at those in social media during this pandemic, I can see all of you are so vocal about how the authorities or how the NGOs or how things should be done to handle this pandemic, how to contain COVID-19. I see all of you doing posters on things like mental health. Or I see all of you creating masks, making masks to sell. I see all of you voicing out for different causes, whether it's environmental, whether it's gender causes. I can see all of you are voicing out. So if this new generation is not so conformist, but in fact, this new generation is someone who is daring to voice out what they think in their minds. What kind of leaders can lead such a people that would not say, if I say A, you will follow A? No, you will say, no, I don't think so. It's not A, it's B. So what type of leaders that you must become in order to lead young leaders like yourself? Now, let's go to the next slide, right? In this next slide over here, you can actually see a textbook description of what is transformational leadership. Again, when I take on this assignment to share with you all my story, I don't want it to be a textbook description. If you want to read textbook, you can go Google, right? But let us go through this really quickly. So a transformational leadership is different from someone who is an authoritarian or democratic leadership. What is so special is that it has individualized consideration, meaning a leader is now a mentor, a coach, a guide, a facilitator, instead of like an overbearing boss. The new leader is someone who knows their followers well. What is their needs? What is their wants? What are they looking for? When they join this organization, this department of student formators, when they become a student formators, when they join this liberal arts committee, what are they looking for? What is their personal goal? Are they trying to get a cert? Or are they trying to learn something? Or are they trying to make friends? Different people have different motivation. And this brings us to point number 2, which is inspirational motivation. I think all of you have heard about the Maslow hierarchy of needs, maybe. Different people are motivated by different needs. Therefore, your motivation cannot be so general as in, you can do it kind of motivation, but really to understand each of your friends, what are they looking for, right? What is Jason looking for? What is Erica looking for? What is Zen looking for? What is Trisha looking for? When Trisha joined this event, what are they trying to achieve? When Cindy joined this department, joined this organization, what do you think she's trying to achieve through this? Everyone has different motivation, and finding them out will be your responsibility. Okay, of course, point number 3, idealized influence. Leaders are supposed to be role models. Have you ever heard of this? Sometimes as leaders, we have a lot of ideas, right, that we want to sell people, that we try to promote. But do you realize that all the top influencers, people follow them not because of what they say? I'll give you an example. let's just say today, let's see, who do I have on screen? Zan is on screen. Let's just say Zan says something. Zan says that you should buy this apple. Yes, I can see you, Zan. You should buy this apple because this apple has high nutritional value. You could say the same thing, and then I call Jason to repeat the same message. Jason also go to Instagram or TikTok and says that buy this apple. It has high nutritional value. Do you think these two person will achieve the same results? Of course not. Maybe everyone likes Zan. Everyone leave a lot of comment to Zan. Everyone reshare what Zan says. Maybe people even want to buy the apple because of Zan. But compared to Jason, maybe less people comment on Jason. Why? Is it a problem with the message? No. No, it's not the message. Two people can say the same thing, promote the same thing, has an organization that have the same vision, and one would succeed and another will fail. This hits me again. I didn't realize that until much later on. I thought like I have to have a very grand vision, and my message have to be perfect. My public speaking must have the best English, the perfect grammar. Do you know what really matters? No one cares about your grammar. Sometimes the best influencer can't even speak a proper English, and yet they deliver results. Yet people listen to their speech. Have you heard about an influencer on Instagram? She has over 2 million followers, and she can't even sell 6 t-shirts. I'm not saying how much of a failure she is, but I'm just saying maybe we have gotten leadership wrong. What if it is not about how well is your English? It's not about your message, how unique is your message? It's not even about how many followers you have on TikTok. We have to begin with this because we have to break all the myth on leadership before we can know what is real leadership. So now, let us skip this textbook description and go straight to the point. Over here, you can see 5 levels of leadership. I'll give you a minute, have a look. And if you have learned something or a nice quote that you have here just now, maybe you can comment in the chat room so that we know this is a key point to remember. All right. So what are we seeing here in these 5 levels of leadership? So here is exactly what we are looking at, which is, Erica, are you okay? All right, there you go. What we are looking at is a roadmap, right? Because people need a direction. If I talk about leadership, what makes some leader more effective than the others? So here are 5 levels. A positional leader, a leader with permission, a leader that can produce results, a leader that develop other leaders, and at the top, at level 5, this is what we want to aim at. Becoming an icon of leadership. So when you embark on this journey to become a youth leader, just like what I have done in the past, from someone who is quiet to someone who is outspoken, from someone who don't dare to speak in front of a class of 10, right now I can speak in front of thousands and also in Zoom meetings. For someone who previously cannot even look at the phone camera eye on, and now I can. From someone who have no followers to now I have thousands of people following. For someone who never cares about any cause or activism to now I'm working on this kind of stuff every single day. For someone who believes that hard skill, technical skills, I must learn how to bake a cake, I must learn how to drive a car, I must know how to balance a balance sheet, I must know how to program a software. From someone who believes that hard skills will solve the world's problem, to now someone who spends daily training people on people skills and knowing that the problem is, it is not that your followers, your people, our team do not know how to do things. The problem is they do not know how to work with people. And if we all just know how to work with one another, we can achieve a lot more together. So right now, I want to share with you a few questions that I've been thinking in the past, and let's see what you have learned as well. So the first question that I have in mind is, will people follow you if they don't have to? This is a very important question because you could be saying, it could be Hannah, it could be Jennifer, you could be saying like, you know what, I'm already a leader. People are following me. Not true. Not true. Many people follow people because they have to, not because they want to. I'll give you an example, right? Right now, say that most of the people watching this is probably very young, probably below 25, in the 20s and things like that. Do you realize that someday you're going to meet people that is 50 years old, that is 60 years old, that is 40 years old? And after spending 40, 50, 60 years on planet Earth, the moment they don't have the title, the position, or the wealth, their followers will scramble away. Not one would care what they say, what they do. No one will even visit their house during the new year. The moment they lost their title as a general manager, the moment they lost their money, no one would even follow them. Now, have you ever seen people that don't have a title, who is not the manager, who is not the president, yet people follow them? So what is happening here? What is happening here is that you need to ask yourself, are you a positional leader or are you a real leader? A positional leader is someone that have a position but not necessarily have a follower. If you are a real leader, you are someone that not necessarily have a position, but you have followers. So think about this. Are you just a leader because you have a position right now? Or are you a leader because you truly have people to follow you? Now, let's go on to another thing, right? Share a bit of story that I have in the past. So previously, I lead a service organization, probably doing a lot of stuff that you did as well. And this club that we have, right, initially we have over 100 members. Within 4 years, we lost all 100 people. Even the president quit. Just think about this, right? You start an organization with over 100 people in less than a year, and in 4 years' time, you lost all the people and the president quit first. So this is what happened. So when we got back to the club, right, I no longer hold any position, and the people I bring back no longer has any position, committee position as well. And we are thinking that why is it that people wants to join clubs like music, like dance, all the cool clubs with cool activities for young people. But why aren't young people interested in things like professional development? Why aren't they interested in things like community service? There are people that are interested, but why aren't more people are interested? And then I realized something. Because everything that we have been doing, all the activities we are doing, is so normal. Meaning, if today you go and clean up the beach, do you realize that a lot of other clubs and organizations are doing beach cleanup as well? And if you today day visit a children's home and orphanage for 3 hours, 4 hours, take some pictures, you post on Facebook. Do you also realize that a lot of other clubs and organizations are also doing the same? And when all your members go back home, they will not feel that they have participated in something that is special. They feel like, what have I done? You know, I can join any other club organization and still have the same experience. And truth be told, cleaning up the beach in one evening or going to a children's home for 3 hours, say hi, play some games, go back home. Ask yourself, have you changed anything? What have you transformed? If you are talking about transformational leadership, what have you transformed really? Will people stop throwing rubbish and pollute the beach after you go there for 1 hour to pick up rubbish? Will the children education be taken care of after you visit them for 3 hours and take some pictures? It doesn't as well. And then I realized that we need to create something of impact. And in our city here in Kuala Lumpur, it's a beautiful city, and yet at the same time, there are a lot of homeless people. So one day we decided to experiment this, right? So instead of having orientation and meetings, what if we bring people, our potential members, like Paula, like Zuriel, like Christine? What if I bring Christine and Zuriel out here and say, let's forget about the meeting, the orientation. Why don't you join us for a walk around the city? You don't have to decide whether you want to join our club or not, but we have a very interesting city tour tonight. So all of them join us for this city tour, and the things that they see makes them want to stay. They finally find a reason why our vision matters, why this club matters. When we go around in this homeless, can you see this picture on the left? All of you can see this, right? This is actually one of the big silverish. How do you pronounce silverish? A drain, you know, the big drainage system in the city. And there are people that without homes that have to live besides the drain. And if you do not know, in Kuala Lumpur, we often have this flash flood problem. And when it floods, people that live by the drain, everything that they have will be flooded. And we thought that we are going to see adults that are homeless. And can you see the picture in the middle? This is when we see a tent with children as young as 4, 5, 6 years old living in the tent without milk, without supplies. And suddenly, all the vision and mission that we talk about in meetings a lot that no one cares, no one remember, right now our members understood why we need to do what we do. Why? Because you allowed them to participate in the experience. And can you see the picture on the right? On the top, do you actually know what those are? Those are snakes, by the way. Because they are living by the drain, they have the opportunity to catch snakes, turtles, and a lot of very weird creatures that they keep in boxes, and they will later try to resell in the market. I'm not sure who is buying it, but they are reselling it later, you know, to make some cash. And down there is where we actually get to connect with those people that are living by the sewage, the homeless. We play games to them. We ask them if they have a job. We try to connect them with jobs. We try to get necessities and supplies for the children. There are people that feed homeless, but they always give food. But they don't realize they need more than that. They need mosquito repellents because mosquitoes are everywhere. They need lady napkins because no one is giving them that. They need a job. They don't need you to keep on giving them charity. They need a way out. Okay, to sum it up, just the first question, right? The first question is, will people follow you if they don't have to? Can you give a reason why people should follow you first? Now, the lesson that we can learn from here is, number one, Are you a position leader or are you a real leader? You can let me know in the comments. Are you a position leader or are you a real leader? Second question. How can you let people experience your vision? If you say your vision for the organization is to build student leaders, is to voice out on causes that matter, to promote justice, peace, equality, how can people feel and experience what is your vision? How can you let your members go back home and feel like I've done something that is remarkable, that maybe I have changed someone's lives today? Something that moves people, an adventure that you can take them on. Well, I don't want to continue this story right now because we have another slide. And you will see towards the end of this slide what happened to all these people that I just mentioned. Remember, if it is just a visit, if it's just a poster, if it's just a social media post, no lives are changed. The vision that you have is not compelling. And if the vision is not compelling, if it's not transforming lives, then people find it hard to follow you because there are many other organizations they can follow. Let's go to the next slide. Do people want to follow you? It's the second question. Have you heard about this phrase, right? It's very lonely at the top. Have you heard about this? Have you ever wondered why is it lonely at the top? You know, sometimes you see this in movies, sometimes we see this in business leaders, right? That says that, they have achieved such wealth, greatness, and success, and they feel so lonely at the top. It is because they are not bringing their people with them. If you feel lonely as a leader, it just shows one thing, right? Maybe you are not a leader. Have you also heard people say that, some people, when they come into the room and then if it says that, I have to tell these people I'm the leader, I'm the president of this club, of this committee. Do you also realize that if you are a real leader, people will know that, for example, Paula, if you are the leader, people will know that Paula is the leader, even if Paula does not say that she's the leader. Think about this. Is that true? Do you not walk into a room and immediately, subconsciously, through body language and through observation, you can see, okay, this is the leader of the group. Or I guess that person must be the president. I guess that person must be the leader. If you have to tell people you are the leader, maybe you are not a leader. If you feel lonely at the top, maybe because there are no followers following you. Now, here comes the next story, right? This next story is actually, all of this are very young. We form a group of young entrepreneurs, right? Every one of them started different businesses. They're from different countries, but they are all in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So some of them started cafes, some of them started restaurants, some of them started toy shops, a lot of cool stuff that is started. So we thought that all this while, the community has been based on competition, like who can do a better job, who can make more profits, make more money, reach more people, have more customers. But we thought that, what if instead of competing with one another, we can bring everyone together in a collaborative spirit? If today you are a restaurant owner and I'm a party provider, I sell balloons and decorations, maybe we can support each other. You get the idea? If today I'm a trainer and you are a human resource manager, maybe there is something that we can work together with. And this is how we cover each other, right? So in the future, if someone is looking for a restaurant to go, I will recommend yours. If someone needs any training for their sales team, for their leaders, find me. If someone needs someone in real estate, they're finding properties, okay, we know, we recommend to you. So this second question is, do people want to follow you? It's a matter of how you build relationships. It's not about competition. How can you build relationship with people? How can you build a community? How can you make sure they collaborate and not just compete? How can you make them complement each other? Just think about this. When we go back to these 5 levels of leadership, what do you see here? Question number 1, position. Will people follow you if you don't have a title? Question number 2, permission. Do people actually even want to follow you? There is another great quote, right? Something that you can take home. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Can you explain to me why each member in your club should join the club? Why should they follow you? What is your reason? How can you help them to achieve their goals? That's a question we need to think, right? Which is, do you know that you can achieve all the goals that you want as a leader, as a person, if you just help enough other people to achieve their goals? Because when your team wins, you automatically win. So how can we achieve that? Let's continue our story. Do people achieve results under your leadership? This is important. You could have the best relationship, you can have a lot of position, but if people are not winning, how long do you think they will stay? When we're thinking about winning, we need to think in terms of talents, right? For example, right now on the screen, I can see Cindy, I can see Christine, I can see Regina. Can you tell me what are the strengths of Regina? What is Regina good at? What is Regina not good at? What is Cindy good at? What is Cindy not good at? And as you realize by now, it seems like it is a lot of work. Yes. Do you know why people fail as leaders? Because they worry so much about how well is their essay, how nice is Facebook. They worry about how competent, how many products or service they can do, but they never care about the people, right? Sometimes they don't even know their name, they don't know where they live, they don't know it's their birthday. Just think about this. If your leader don't even know when it's your birthday, they don't even know, whether your sister get married or whether you have someone you like, if they know nothing about you, would you care about what is their vision or mission? Of course not. What have we learned just now? Point number 2 is about relationships, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it starts with caring about your people and helping them to achieve results. So this is another club, of course. Regina is also in road track as well. So it has been 7 going to 8 years. I'm in road track. I'm not sure how popular is road track in Philippines, but I heard there are a lot of clubs. So this is what happened, right? Now the story, we are coming to if this is a drama, we are now at the pinnacle of the story, right? Now here's the story, here's what happened. So when we realize what are the leadership problems and how we can improve ourselves. Can you see this picture on the middle with a group of kids, right? This group of kids, last time we visit them once in a very long time. We go there, we take pictures, we post on Facebook. Yeah, activity done. Nothing changed. Now I can proudly say, every year we repaint their homes. Currently, we have 4 homes under us. We actually named the project no longer visiting a home. We just call it adopt a home. We take care of them like our children. We know their name. We know their exam results. And every week, we have tutors that go there to teach them on English or Malay, sometimes maths. We know that the reason why they fail in secondary school is because when they are young in primary school, in kindergarten, if that's what it's called at your place, they do not have a good language lessons. Just imagine, right? If you can't read a sentence in English, do you think you will do well in science? Of course not. You're going to fail all the other subjects, not because you don't like the subject, but because you don't even understand the sentence. So right now they have English tuition. And have you ever feel like if you have like 30, 50 children living under a house and the manager don't have enough time or transport to bring up the children? Just imagine living in that same house day in, day out, and you can't go out because someone might kidnap you or something, Imagine how you feel. Terrible, right? You can't go out to play. You have never seen, not to say you have never seen the sunlight, but you're trapped in the house. So last year, we decided to bring about 2 of the homes, I think probably about like 50 children. We bring them out for an educational outing where they can dress up as a policeman, firefighters, nurses, dentists. We have a cool place we bring them to. They can dress up and they can try to do some work to get some game money. So it's a nice place, right, where kids can explore themselves and their ambitions, what they want to become. That got us on the newspaper. The newspaper actually covered that. And today, we also make sure that by the time they have to leave the children home, by the age of 18, I mean, you can't stay at the home forever, right? You got to give chance to new children. So by the time they leave that, we give them partial scholarship to continue their studies in colleges. We actually secure sponsors for them. So just think about this, right? You see those kids at 6 years old, they grow to 10 years old. And one day, 10 years later, there is one kid who is now working, who comes to you and say, Regina, do you remember me, Sister Regina? Like 10 years ago, you come to my home, you teach me English, and I got into a college because you get us a sponsor. You repaint my home. I remember every time there is a festivity, you get us new clothes. I remember singing I Love You Barney song together. Do you remember that, Regina? These kids are going to come back to you. And this is what kind of vision we want to promote, right? This is not a weekend project. This is not a Saturday project. This is not year 2020 project. We are trying to do a 10-year project. I want to see you grow with the kids. And this is what transformation is about. But then we are being hit by another problem. We give them scholarship to go to college, but they don't want to go. They just want to work in factories. You know what we are going to do this year 2020? We're going to solve this problem. So for kids that don't want to go to college to become an accountant, a doctor, a banker, or a lawyer or something, what if we give them skills training? So right now, these kids, when they hit 17, 18 years old, if they feel like they don't want to continue the traditional college, they can join us for a 4-month cooking course that we have achieved, that we have found a sponsor. So they're going to learn to become chef, cook some good food, bake some good cakes. And after 4 months, They now have a skill. They can work in restaurants, cafes. And if they have no place to go, we found another solution. So we decided to just start a business straight away. So we are going to start a business this year, and we are going to hire all these kids. And remember those homeless people? They don't have jobs, right? So we're going to get all of them, get into our cooking program. We're going to make them chef, bakers. And we're going to start like a food delivery business this year. And now let me ask you, maybe their life now have a chance to be transformed. I'm going to look at them from they're 6 years old up until they are 17, 18, 19, 20. And now they are going to work with us. Now they are going to join our club as a member. They are going to earn their own money. They're going to find a place to live. This is the kind of vision that we want. And that's the reason why we have been honored with a lot of awards recently. Because we finally realize what our mistakes are. Our mistakes is we don't have an exciting vision, and whatever we are doing doesn't have enough impact, and we decided to change it. So let's talk about right now, right? When we have achieved any victory as a leader, as a youth leader, we have to remember the people that help us. Do you all know who is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? Yeah, you've seen them in movies. Like, what movies is he in? I can't remember. Like Jumanji. What other movies? Fast and Furious. Yeah, I mean, he's everywhere, right? You know, one of the cool things about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, whenever he finished filming in a city, I follow his Instagram, and stuff like that. I remember him posting on IG story. He just do like quick IG story, right? He thanked the city council. He say out the name of the people that helped him in the filming in the city. He thanked his stunt double. I think he even bought a vehicle for his stunt double. And he voiced out the names of the people that helped him throughout the journey. I think this is a very good quality that you can learn, Sanao. Yeah, that you can learn from The Rock, which is to celebrate every win, to have this spirit of gratitude, to thank the people that helped us until here today. All these things that we do that I show you, and we are not even at the ending of the story. All these are not possible. These are the people that follow me when I don't even have a title. It's not like I have a salary to pay them, right? And they join me because they feel like it's something meaningful. And the crazy thing is some of them are beyond the age limit of my club back then. We only have like age 30 and below. Some of them are like 40 plus, 50, 30 plus. And I remember there is even a pregnant mother that come and join us. And they donate stuff, they donate money. Back then, we don't have a profit-based model, right? They never ask for their names to be mentioned. They donate for the utilities bill for the homes, for the electricity, for the water. When we need a projector, they sponsor half of it. When we need to bring the children out, they volunteer, they bring their cars along to drive them out. That's why whenever I have a chance to give a speech and to thank them, I always thank them. I write letters to them. I say out their names. I appreciate them. So these are the kind of things that you can think about. And now we're coming to the end, actually. We are coming to level 4, right? Which is, do your followers rise to become leaders? This is a question that we are still trying to solve, up until today. It's very easy for you to lead after you know how to lead. but to create leaders. That's why we are here, right? Student formators. We are trying to train the apprentices, so that they become the next batch of leaders. Everything that you learn in the first 3 principles, can you now able to teach new leaders? There is this studies, right? Like they try to find out what makes a good leaders, what kind of qualities that they have. One of the highest, the top 3 qualities that we can see in great leaders are that great leaders are actually great teachers. That's the reason why when we see a lot of professors, our teachers, our coaches, they somehow able to navigate to great positions of leadership because they are able to replicate leaders and they are able to communicate their message. So if in your country there are any public speaking course, I would suggest you to go for it. If the organization offer you any leadership position, even if you have never led before, just take it, right? Just take it. Because leadership requires training. It's not that one day you wake up and suddenly, okay, I found the secret to leadership, I'm a great leader. It doesn't happen that way. You have to make mistakes. I've been trying on this leadership thing for like, how many years has it been? I mean, the first proper leadership position, maybe when I'm age 15. So right now it's over 10 years, probably 15 years already. I'm still trying to figure out how to become a better leader. You have no idea how much I have screwed up in the past, trying to become a leader, and I'm glad to say it has changed my life. I hope it will change yours too, right? So like I say, it's not possible for me to speak like this, but because I try to take on the leadership position, especially on dying organizations, somehow I have kind of an affinity with dying organizations. I always somehow, because no one is willing to be the leader, I say, you just give it a try. And from dying organizations, reviving them, that leads me to so many organizations over the past 10 years. They revive, dying, revive. You are closing, I'm going to come and revive it. And from there, we learn the greatest lesson. It doesn't matter whether you are 15 years old or whether you are 50 years old. You'll be surprised, right? Last time I always thought like, maybe the older people, the elderly people, with their years of experience, they would know how to do, what to do, they will become better leaders. Let me tell you a secret, right? They are just as clueless as you. They have no idea. Good leaders are so rare that someone can become a leader for 30 years and they still suck at becoming a leader. And you know how much good followers wanted a good leader? People are literally begging to be led. You know how lost people are? If you think you are very lost at 20 years old, you will realize one day at 30 years old, people are still so lost. There are some of your friends are going to get married, they're going to have great jobs, they're going to get manager's title, and they're still so lost, right? Because I'm a trainer, so I have the opportunity to meet a lot of them. A lot of them, after they get married, they're still wondering, why do I get married? A lot of them become managers, and then they still wonder, like, what is my purpose of life? Should I even become a banker? So if today you are feeling lost, you don't know what you are doing, let me let you know that it's very normal. The people that you look up to, a lot of them don't know what they're doing anyway. So don't be scared to lead, to voice out. Now, let's come to this slide, right? This slide is about, do people follow you because of what you stand for? Now, this is what we want to achieve. Because the best recruitment strategy is attraction. I'll give you a simple scenario, right? Let's say you have a guy or a girl that you like, right? That you have a crush on or something. You think it is easier to chase someone Or is it easier to select from people that are already attracted to you? Well, this is like a relationship question, right? You do realize that sometimes the people that you chase, they are like butterflies, right? The more you chase them, the more they run away. But the people that are attracted to you, your fan club, they are more willing and open, to discuss with you, to talk with you, to communicate with you. So what is more ideal? Chasing or attraction? Attraction, of course. So if you want to become an effective leader, do you chase talents or do you attract talents? Now, here's the ultimate goal of leadership, right? Ultimately, you want to stand for something. You want to become a brand, right? For example, if today you have an iPhone, people will think like, oh, iPhone is cutting edge, it's new technology, it's trendy, you are AG. If you are using it, you are someone who is very creative. But is that so? Is iPhone really that good? Yeah, Regina said no. So I believe her. It's not even that good. But people buy iPhones because of what they stand for. You know Harley Davidson bikes, those big bikes? Do you think people buy those bikes because they need a bike to go to work? Of course not. Do people go to Starbucks because they need to drink coffee? Really? No. No one goes to Starbucks because of the coffee. So why do people come to you? Do you remember something that I mentioned very early on, which is people do not buy what you sell. People buy what you stand for. What do you stand for? You want to become the iPhone. You want to become the Starbucks. That people come to you, not even because of what activities or vision you are doing, but because of you, because of what you stand for. What identity do you represent? What community that you have built? Have you ever joined something because, wow, those people over there are so cool, right? I want to join that community. I don't even care what activities they have, even if they only have like coloring contests or singing karaoke every week and do nothing, I will join that group because those bunch of people are so cool. Have you able to build a community such as that? And when people look at your name, when they look at Hannah, when they look at Mariel, what are the few keywords that comes out to their mind? Is Zuriel someone who's creative? Do they think like Zuriel, leader? Or Zuriel, very passionate? Or Jera, good speaker? What do they think when people say name? Right? So here's the thing, right? The beautiful journey of leadership and what you too can achieve if you just put in time. And I've only done this for 10, 15 years. I have planned and think as far as what will happen in the next 30 or 50 years. And I look forward to see that. And because I'm so excited to see what will happen in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Remember when I say a lot of people are lost in life, they don't know what's their purpose, they don't have a direction. As a leader, your job is to pass a vision, to show them I have an adventure that I want to go on. You know, just like how good movies or good novels that you're reading, there must be an adventure. There must be a villain that you want to stop. There must be a problem that you want to solve. And because you're so passionate, they see you every day on Facebook, you're talking about it. When you come out during coffee session, you are talking about it. When they see you in school, you are wearing the t-shirt of the organization. You are living that vision, that dream. And people feel like, what it is this crazy thing that Zen is joining. Why is she not stop talking about it? She wear t-shirt. When I go on Instagram, it's the same thing she's posting. TikTok again, she posts on the same thing. She wear t-shirts. She talk about it. She joined 10 different organizations, also talk about it. What is this thing? I want to know. And that is when you have succeeded in attracting people to follow you. Okay, to sum it up. What have we learned today? Are you a position leader or are you a real leader? If you are lonely at the top, maybe you are not a leader. If you have to tell people you are a leader, maybe you are also not a leader. Do you have enough fellowship and memories with your friends? If I go on Facebook and I search Steve Friend with Trisha, do I see any pictures, any videos? Besides doing work, have we done anything else together? That's the question. Because people will look back and Facebook will remind them every year, memories with Trisha, memories with Cindy. You do one thing one time, that YouTube video of that event, that trip, that activity in this social media age is going to have repeated effect. People will leave your club 2 years later, they see Facebook reminder, memory with Cindy. Oh yeah, what is happening with Cindy? I remember this friend. He traded me ice cream during the trip, and we do crazy things together. With the power of social media, you can build great relationships. Remember to appreciate talent, appreciate what they have done. With this, I would like to end this with this, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, let's go together. So before we sum up and open up to the questions and answer session, I see some of you messaging me how to reach out to me. I'm actually going to give away a free ebook to the young leaders today that are here. I will share with you a link, and you can get the ebook for free. Okay? Yeah, just fill in the link, and I will send you the ebook. And I've also started a new Facebook group just for young leaders like you. I will share with you the link, and you can join in, and we can discuss. No products, no services, nothing. Just discussion about leadership ideas, right? And projects that you're working on. Remember what we talked about just now is very important as leaders for you to build communities. So let's see what we can do together. Lastly, you can also find me on various social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Of course, you can always ask Jason, Regina. We're connected. So lastly, leadership is an opportunity. So go forth and transform life. Thank you. God bless.
Okay, so thank you very much, Hugo, for that very inspirational and perspective defying talk. So, I believe Hugo gave us a lot of questions to ponder on and things to reflect on our leadership status and leadership capabilities. But, oh wait, I already have messages coming in. Okay, so I think it's time for our open forum session. If you have any questions, you can chat it on the chat box so Hugo can see them, or you can personally message them to me. So for the first question, Hugo, we have from Erica Jean Quisel from the Education Academic Organization. Do Let me read the question. Do real leaders need a high level of emotional intelligence, or does it have to be in balance with his or her other intelligence? If so, how can one true leader balance all these internal resources or powers in order to be an effective real leader? That's the first question. She has like another follow-up question, Hugo.
All right. So the first question is emotional intelligence, right?
Intelligence.
Now, so here's the thing, right? To become a great leader, I would say you will need higher EQ than whatever IQ that you have. Because it's not about what you can do, you know. Sometimes I meet a team leader and they say that, you know, I'm looking at the sales, I'm taking care of the customers. But that's not true. That's not true. Let me ask you, do you really think that if I have an event, right, do you think I create the posters for the event myself? Of course not. If today I have a retail shop, let's say if I'm the owner, the manager, do you think that I serve the customers myself most of the time? Of course not. Now, here's the important thing, right? If you are doing the job, you need some sort of IQ to do the job. But the main job of a leader is not to do the job. Do you know what is the main job of a leader? Very early on in our slide, it's like maybe the third slide or something. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. Meaning, your job is to take care of the people that do the job. If you think about this, let's just say today you are the CEO of McDonald's. Do you think that you are going to work at the counters? No. Do you think you have meet your customers? No. Maybe you have not seen a customer for 30 years. You get the idea? You are the CEO. You say you are going to take care of the customers, but you have not seen a customer for 30 years because you are at some corporate office high up at floor number 30, 40, 50 floor. You have not seen a customer for a very, very long time, and you tell me you know how to take care of your customers? No one knows how to take care of the customers. You know who really know how to take care of the customers? The person at the counter that actually have to do the job every day. So your job as the leader that sits at floor number 50 something, your job is to take care of your senior managers, that take care of the other managers, that take care of the outlet manager, and the outlet manager take care of the person at the counter that take care of the customers. Now, do you know why leadership is important? Because if the leader is not good, the whole thing is not good. Okay, now back to the other intelligence, right? I know there are social intelligence, physical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, a lot of intelligence. Here's the thing, right? I've seen a lot of leaders with a lot of temper. I don't know why, but bad temper seems to be quite worldwide. When your emotions are high, your intelligence are low. I repeat that. When your emotions are high, your intelligence are low. When your intelligence are low, do you think you make good decisions or bad decisions? Bad decisions every time. Why there's a lot of office politics and managers throw things at their staff, staff shout back at their managers. Always happens, right? Because someone don't know how to control their emotions. And that's the reason why I'm a trainer in NLP, right? I like to study about psychology. I always thought that I'm going to study psychology, but I end up studying accounting. But it doesn't matter. I didn't end up becoming an accountant. You know what I do right after I finish my accounting degree? I go and study psychology. So I take on all the different, I want to understand people. So I take on different therapy courses, life coaching, certifications, NLP. Probably I'm going to take hypnotherapy or something in the future as well. So the reason is because if you can't manage your emotions, you can't manage people. And if you don't know how to handle your stress, if you don't know how to handle your anger, It's okay, we can talk more in the Facebook group. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Regina?
Okay, Erica's next question.
Mm.
As real leaders, how can we ensure sustainable impact and influence rather than just propelling your constituents to adhere to your organizational objectives or mandates? Again, as real leaders, how can we ensure sustainable impact and influence rather than just propelling your constituents to adhere to your organizational objectives or mandates?
That's a good question, actually. I think that is the reason why we have. Remember when I talk about the old school leadership, mostly the autocratic leadership and things like that. I think there is a time and place for that, but most of the time, right? This is a question on. I think it's our second question just now. Is it the first question? The first question. Will people follow you if you don't have a title? You know, the only reason why you can set objective and mandates and rules is because you have a position, you have a title. So if you are relying on that title to get things done, you're not going to go very far as a leader. Meaning, let's say Paula today, right? Paula today is my CEO. Paula is the CEO, right? If I'm only following Paula because of her title, I will just do the minimum. Like I know Paula is going to ask me tomorrow. I need to answer in the meeting. So I just do enough so that I can have something to answer Paula. But do you think I will give my best? Of course not. You know, there are so many employees out there. Every day when they go to office, their objective is not how to do a good job. Their objective is how can I not get scolded by my boss today? So let me think. Okay, I'm going to put a jacket at my chair. I'm going to put a lot of books here, a lot of files. I'm going to pretend I'm very busy. Then I'm going to walk over to Jason. I'm going to put on a very stressed face. I'm going to talk about nonsense, but with a very stressed face, so that when my boss walk out and they see, wow, Hugo is doing a great job. He's so stressed, you know. And then I'm going to walk around drinking water. And then when I want to go back, I will be the last person who go back just to show my boss, you know, I'm working so hard, you know. And when Regina want to go back, I will tell Regina, it's okay, you go back first, Regina. I got work to do, you know. Do you need me to help in anything? You know, so it become a game of pretending. That's why I feel like transformational leadership is the way to go, right? You have to inspire them instead of mandating them to do something. The only way to inspire them is to link their personal goals to your organizational goals, right? Give you an example. Let's just say Erica, right? Erica. The reason why Erica joins this club is because she wants to make more friends. Example. Then you have to share with Erica, whether personally or publicly, on how joining your club can help her make more friends. Your club objective is not to make more friends. Your club objective is to, say, become the best club in your university, for example. It has nothing to do with making friends. But you tell Erica that, can you see all these activities that we're doing? We have like 40, 50, 60, 70 people in our clubs. You know, you see all these people, you know, all these cool people are in our club, you know, and they're all very friendly. So I think you can actually make a lot of friends. Why don't you join us in one of our fellowship? We're actually hanging out in the mall, or we have a buffet or potluck, you know. Why don't you join us? If you help Erica to make friends, Erica will stay to help you to make your club the best club. Okay. So connecting them, right? So same thing right now. In the current road track club that I have, everyone is already working. They are not university students. So if I tell them, you are going to get a cert by joining this activity, this webinar, do you think they will be attracted? Maybe not, because they already graduated, they have earned whatever certs they want, they get a job. If I tell them you're going to get some certs, maybe no one will care about what I say. So I need to ask myself, they are working people, what are they working as? How can I help them to achieve their career goals by working in my club to achieve my club goals? Okay, back to you, Regina.
Okay, we have a question from Paula Ando. The question is, as leaders who are restrained of realizing ideas such as gatherings and other face-to-face meetings because of this pandemic, how will we be able to maximize our potential? Again, as leaders who are restrained of realizing ideas such as gatherings and face-to-face meetings because of this pandemic, how will we be able to maximize our potential?
Okay, this is a great question. Now, here's a surprising thing, right? During this quarantine or lockdown in Malaysia, we are at home since March. Means I can't go out. You know that in the training industry, I'm supposed to give speeches, organize some sort of workshop, boot camp, where people have to come sit in chairs and listen kind of thing. Do you think I can do any of that during these 3 months? Not 3 months. How many months have we been? We are 5 months.
5.
5 months. It has been 5 months. Do you think I can do any of that? No, I can't do any of that. So do you think my business get better or do you think it get worse? Now, if I have to ask that question, obviously the answer is going to be something unexpected, right? Now, during these 5 months, I have reached more clients than I have in the 5 months when there are no quarantine. During these 5 months, without leaving my home, I've made more friends than I have the 5 months that I can go outside. And right now, I'm speaking to young leaders in Philippines. I'm from Malaysia. We are socially distanced, but we are not socially disconnected. And if you follow me on Facebook, during March, I started doing something called live stream, live session interview. At first, don't really have a lot of people watching it. I didn't pay for any advertising. And then I just keep doing it, right? I think I reached over maybe 20,000 people, maybe 25,000 people. I didn't pay for a single cent of advertisement. Do you know why this is possible? This is not possible because I'm good. This is possible because everyone is at home. They are so bored. They look at their phone. When they're on their phone, they will see me. I'll be live, talking about things that they might not bother. But then they see me again tomorrow. I'm live again. And they were like, what is this guy doing? Okay, let me listen a bit. Because they have very short attention span, they are going to listen for 10 seconds. That is nothing to do with me. I will close it. But then next week, one day when they are eating dinner, they're going to open their phone. They're going to scroll through the feed and they're going to see me. What? HUGO is live again? Why is there so many things to talk about? Okay. But this time there are more comments. Okay, maybe I have a look. I look at it 1 minute. But then it's taking a long time to get to the point, man. Never mind. I'm going to watch some cat videos. Close it. Next month, you know what happened? The same person is going to tell me, what, HUGO? Actually, what business are you doing, HUGO? Why are you always live? Because right now, my father is watching your live stream. This is what happened. now more than ever is a great opportunity. And do you know why all those people are going to come on live to be interviewed by me? Do you know why? Because they have no business. They're at home. They're free. So what happens after they join me for a live? You know, I talk for like 1 hour, 1.5 hours. No one is going to follow the whole thing, rarely. After that, I help them promote a bit about their company, whatever products or services they're doing. At the same time, they will ask like, actually, Hugo, what business are you doing again? I'm in the training industry, sir. The training industry. I help people to close more sales, to influence more people, to build better leaders. And then we'll be like, you know what? My sales went down during the pandemic. Same question that Paula has, right? Restraint. The government don't let us to open our businesses. No gatherings because of the pandemic. How can we maximize our sales? How can we talk to our clients? What should our staff do? And that's how I come in. So yes, Paula, now is a great opportunity. You'll be fairly successful if you spend the rest of the year, you know. We are socially distant, but not socially disconnected. Yeah. Back to you, Regina.
Okay, we have our last question for today.
Yep.
This is from Christine. Should the leader be spontaneous at times or plan everything all the time? Again, should a leader be spontaneous at times or plan everything all the time?
Right. Spontaneous or plan everything, right?
Yep.
And the question is from?
Christine Segayo.
Christine. Okay.
Yeah.
Christine. Let me see if I can find Christine. Christine. Yes, you can see Christina. The one with the last picture. Okay, Christine. Should we be spontaneous and plan everything? I think there's a difference between strategy and tactics. I know this is not a war school, this is not a military school. But I think your business as well, strategy versus tactics. I think our job as leaders is to plan the strategy and leave the tactics to our people. People don't really like to be micromanaged. Like if I tell Paula, help me design a poster, and then I'm going to tell them, you know, I like this color more, not that color. Why don't you change the margin a bit, 0.2, you know, to the left, to the right? You know, if I keep on micromanaging this, people won't follow us. And do you know why leaders are micromanaging? Because they actually know how to do the job. Just imagine this, right? If I'm a very good graphic designer, and because I'm a good graphic designer, my boss promote me to be a manager of graphic designers. When Paula comes in as a graphic designer, when she's designing the poster, what do you think will happen? I would say like, Paula, you know, back in my day, you know how I design posters? You know, I can design such good posters. You know, we never do with such margin. We never use red color. You know, we don't do that here. This is too modern. We need to have more conservative branding. You know why I can say all these things? Because I'm actually a graphic designer. Now, the problem is this. If I know how to do the job and people promote me because I know how to do the job, not because I'm a leader, this will happen. So we need to be very clear between becoming a leader and becoming an expert. Leader and expert is two different things. Our job as leader is to take care of people, not take care of the job. Our purpose as a leader is to create an overall vision and a strategy and a roadmap of the KPI we need to hit to reach there. But as to how to execute and reach that small KPI, I leave it to you, Paula. I leave it to you, Christine. Why don't you tell me how you are going to hit that KPI? Then Christine will plan her tactics. I'm going to do this advertisement. I'm going to do this, post this. I'm going to do this recruitment drive. I don't care how you do it. I just want this goal to be achieved. And if Christine is the right person for the job, how do I know she's the right person? What did we learn just now earlier? Leadership is about relationship. I'm supposed to know if Christine is right for the job. Because my only job is to know Christine, and Christine is supposed to know her job. So I'm supposed to know Christine, this age, live way, she likes ice cream, she hates burgers, she always come here. This is what she's good at, this is what she suck at, because she always fail at this thing, she always succeed at this thing. Christine cannot work with Erica, but Christine can work with Annifer. This is the job of the leader, right? And then later on, I'm going to get something like, whether it's a book or an Excel, I'm going to open a file on Christine. I'm going to write down Christine, strengths, weakness, likes, dislikes. So you're going to open a profile on the people. So the question of whether it should be spontaneous or well planned out, you should plan out the big vision. You should know which person can do the job. You should empower the person to do the job and create the tactics. And if they can't do the job, you need to ask yourself, did you appoint the right person to do the job? Or should you appoint someone to assist that person to do the job? My job is to buy Christine ice cream and Christine take care of the poster. You get the idea? Yeah, okay. Back to you, Regina.
Okay, so thank you participants for asking those questions, and thank you Hugo for answering them. Hugo, can you kindly give Jason back
The
those?
host.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Back
to
to you,
to
Jason.
those who still might have questions for our speaker, you can personally chat them to me via messenger, so I can forward them to Hugo, so we can answer you those personally. So okay, we are now down to the awarding of the certificate to our guest speaker. Let me read the citation. The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Terence Hugo Tan for imparting knowledge which is taught, intellectual leadership, the transformation leadership, the leader in you. For the formators, how to be an effective and responsible formators/mentors, held this August 7 to 2020 via Zoom. Given on this August 6 of August 2020, signed by Jason Idlisan, Jason Idlisan, Secretary of the Department of Formation of the Liberal Arts Organization, Paula Alexis A. Ando, the Governor of the Liberal Arts Organization, and Sarah May Jikiri, the moderator of the Liberal Arts Academic Organization. So, please send your virtual clap reacts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Regina.
Okay. Now, before we officially end this webinar, let us have a photo op with our guest speaker. So, Jason, ready na ba?
Yep. Okay,
Okay,
open your
please
cameras.
open your cameras.
Hello?
Jason, give your cue.
Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay. We're done.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so for the final thing, to help us facilitate and improve the delivery of our future events, please send us your feedback by answering this evaluation form through the link flashed on the screen, or click the link sent in the chat box. You may also opt to scan the QR code screen shared right now, and it will direct you to the evaluation form right away. This will be your gateway to get your certificate for our participants, and we will also send you this form via your email addresses. Thank you everyone for attending our day 2 of our webinar series, Form the Formators. I would like to thank Hugo Tan for being our speaker for today, and may you all stay safe and see you on our last session on tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Thank you everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Zan.
Hugo.
Thank you,
Thank you, Hugo.
Jason. Thank you. Glad there is no electricity outbreak today.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll end this meeting for
Yup.
everyone.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye
1,
everyone.
2, 3.